Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Seashore Group Online Safety Day with the theme of Mind and Body Wellness, Ergonomics, and Workplace Stress Awareness. Now, my name is May Thomas, and I am the Senior Marketing Specialist of DISS, and I'll be your moderator for today's event. And on behalf of the ISS, let me say thank you for letting us host this event for you. We are thrilled to have all of you here virtually gathered to focus on enhancing safety and well-being in your workplace. Now, before we proceed, just a couple of reminders to make this event more memorable for us. Okay, a few house rules. So for those joining with their own device, may I please request for you to keep your microphones muted during the session to avoid any background noises. And if you have any questions, please feel free to use the chat box or just raise your hand and we'll address them during the Q&A segment. Cool? All right. Now, without further ado, let's kick off this remarkable event and welcome the Seashore Group's HSE lead, Miss Angie Freginal, to give us a few words. Miss Angie?
Thank you. On behalf of our HSE department and for Seashore Group, I would like to thank DISS for providing us this training for all of our staff. And I would like to thank also all our office staff for coming here. Thank you so much, guys. I know you're all busy, but you find time to attend on this training. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let me introduce to you my colleague, the HSE lead of Seashore, Mr. JF.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for your training and all. It's very well appreciated. Okay, keep going. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Miss Angie, for that inspiring and enlightening for our keynote or to kick off this event. Okay, now it is my pleasure to introduce an exceptional individual who will be sharing their expertise with us today. With a wealth of experience and a passion for health and safety for more than 10 years, a recognized HSE professional trainer and consultant, Mr. Ramon Gapasin II, who has made significant contributions to the industry. A few background, he is a 2022 recipient of the World Safety and Health Asia Safety Influencer Award, a chartered member of the Institution of Occupational Safety and Health, a certified safety professional by the Board of Certified Safety Professionals accredited in the United States of America, and a lead auditor for HSE ISO standards. Today, Ramon will be delivering or delving into ergonomics and workplace stress awareness. So let's all warmly welcome Mr. Ramon Gapasin II. Mon?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Miss May. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Ayan.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay. All right. Can you tell the person seated next to you or tell yourself a happy good morning?
Good morning.
Okay. All right. Just to kick it off, welcome to your mind and body wellness, ergonomics, and workplace stress awareness. I personally have met Miss Angie long time back, and it's nice to really see new faces as well. So thank you very much for having us from DISS to deliver this Safety Day webinar, and at the same time, face-to-face interaction from your end in there. So anyway, let me just start it off and kick it off now. Welcome to Ergonomics and Workplace Stress Awareness. Okay, so before we begin, in between of all of the discussions that I'm going to have here, I'll be giving you a time for you to have what I call ergo time. It's time for your stretching exercises. Okay, so to start it off and kick it off, let's have a little bit of activity here. So I want you to do your time for exercise. So glance away for 20 seconds. And let's do this every 20 minutes. So your 20 seconds starts now. Glance away. Just look somewhere. Look on the ceiling. Look away. Look at the beautiful face or handsome face away from you. I hope you still have a 20/20 vision. If you don't have a 20/20 vision, okay, that's why it's important that we use our glasses. Right? Some of you might have their reading glasses, and some of you might also have their blue light glasses. No? So anyway, that's just one of the features. I'm also using in my computer. So a very nice feature of my computer is that it gives me an information like every 20 minutes, it gives me a sign here, an indication that says glance for 20 seconds. Because, maybe you've been working for 4 hours just in front of your computer, especially those who are working in the office, right? So you need to have a time for you to rest your eyes. So in order for you to do that, you have to glance away for 20 seconds. Or maybe you can change also the dynamic. You can change the timing, whether how many minutes do you want to glance away, but you need to really rest your eyes. That's just the point here. Okay, this is ergo time number 1. So let's go through the ergonomics topic. The definition says ergonomics is the study of people's efficiency in their working environment. It is a science of adapting tools, workstations, equipment, and job practices to help reduce the risk of injury. It involves matching the work to the worker or individual. So in short, ergonomics, in your aim in ergonomics is to be as efficient as possible. It's actually designing your work to fit for the worker. Okay? Not designing the worker to fit for the work. Okay, especially for those people who are in the office, you were not given a workstation that doesn't fit for you. Maybe you're very tall, you're 6'2", 6'5", and then they give you a small table. It would not be as efficient, right? And for those who are petite, small people, okay, 5'1", 4'11", 4'10", okay. Maybe the workstation is not fitting for you. I hope my audio is okay. All right, just give me a heads up if my audio is okay. All right, so don't just mind the glitch. I think in my cameras there are some kind of like video settings that is like happening in my camera. So, but you can still see me, right?
Yeah.
Here.
Okay, perfect. Okay, wait. I just want to blur. I just want to make sure that my setting is blurred. Okay, that one. All right. So the question here is, okay, the question is, are you as efficient as possible while you are in your workplaces? So that's one thing that we need to be mindful of. Are we that efficient? So in order for us to be efficient, we must learn about ergonomics. Ergonomics, ergonomics really plays a very big role on this, okay? All right. It's okay. Just a quick one. So maybe I hope my video cam doesn't affect your let me just wait.
Okay, let's just wait for Mon to come back. I think he's just having some issues with his connection. There you are. Are you back, Mon?
How about now? You can see my camera much better, right?
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. It's good. Okay, so our aim is to be as efficient as possible at work. But the question is, are you that efficient? Are you working happier or happy to your happiest level while you are in your stations, or not only in the stations, but wherever you are? Because ergonomics is not only for the office setting, but it's in everywhere, in every setting of our work activities. Okay, ergonomics is fitting the job to the worker. This includes your workstations, your tools, and your equipments. We design this workstation, tools, or equipment to fit for you. It actually comes from two Greek words, and the two Greek words is ergo and nomos. Ergo means work, and nomos means law. So if you combine it together, that is the laws of work. So designing or making or creating a law, okay, to have a more efficient work activity. All right, because at the end of the day, it's really your health that is most important. No, we've been in this field for a very long time. Health and safety profession has really brought us to understand, the importance of taking care of our body, because at the end of the day, you want to be as efficient as possible, productive as possible, and also making a lot of changes in your work areas, designing jobs, equipment, and work tasks to fit human physical characteristics and energy limitations. This considers body dimensions, mobility, and the body stress behavior. So it's our goal to make the work fit for the person, not the person fit for the work. Okay, why is ergonomics important? It is important because overexertion is one of the leading cause of injuries in our workplaces. Okay, and it's actually expensive, right? Very expensive. A series of studies have shown that maybe it actually compensates 32% of workers because of the injuries they have gained through the poor ergonomics in the workplace. It may also be recurring or persistent pain that may develop in the future. Now you're not feeling anything, but in the long run, you're probably feeling something. Again, that's the effect of poor ergonomics. So it is also important to look at ergonomics because this is our bodily reaction, leading cause of injuries in the workplace. And some of our work activities at work is repetitive, right? So it's one of actually the top 10 most common workplace injuries. That's your ergonomics. Musculoskeletal disorders. Do you guys have a very tight muscle in there? Are you feeling something wrong? Maybe you're looking at the screen right now, those who are in your stations or those who are in their big hall that you are right now, you're actually in a poor ergonomic state because you're leaning back, but you're actually facing on the side, right? So maybe something that you need to look at. So these are the symptoms of your musculoskeletal disorders because it affects your muscles, your nerves, blood vessels, ligaments, and tendons. A little bit of anatomy here, okay? These are the symptoms. We have discomfort, pain, numbness, loss of motion, flexibility, spasticity, stiff joints. Maybe you are experiencing burning sensation. Some of you have already swelling wrist, ankles, maybe your shoulder, maybe your neck, inflammation, throbbing, or paralysis. So these are musculoskeletal disorders that may not affect you now, but in the long run, you probably have felt something. Other common work-related MSTs. These are the musculoskeletal disorders that maybe you come across. One, carpal tunnel syndrome. Okay, this has something to do with your wrist, lower part of your palm. All right, we have tennis elbow. Okay, not only in sports, by the way, it's not only tennis, but it also can be affected when you are, again, repetitive motion. We have bursitis, this is an example of that. Ischemia, okay, that is low perfusion of blood flow. Dicker veins, all right, at the side of your thumb. Sciatica, okay, this is sciatica nerve, maybe on your leg. Herniated disc. Okay, we have also herniated disc. Of course, it has something to do with your spinal cord. Neck strain disability, tendinitis, and this is rotator cuff, the one you're seeing right now, the picture. So you're on your shoulder. We have also neuritis, has something to do with the nerves. Raynaud's syndrome, that is where you actually feel tingling sensation as well, and you're not having good perfusion or blood flow in your hands. Trigger finger, see your index finger is affected there. Thoracic outlet syndrome, epicondylitis, and back and strain disability. So a lot of actually common musculoskeletal disorders. And we just feel that common work-related musculoskeletal disorders are just affecting our back, arms, neck, hand, knees, ankles, and feet. But there's more to that, no? These are a lot of the disorders. Maybe we are not yet familiar of that. Okay, so this is the one that I'm telling you. Most common affected areas are this part of their body. Okay, maybe you are looking at each other right now and you're checking out. Are you feeling this? Are you feeling that? Maybe it's not only related at work, maybe also at home when you are facing your computers, because some of you are actually bringing your work at your own house, right? So it's also the same kind of experience that I have in my previous jobs, bringing our work at home. So it could also be an aggravation to what you are experiencing. And later we'll be talking about stress as well. Risk factors associated with musculoskeletal disorders, risk factors of MSD injuries is dependent upon your work position and postures, how often your task is performed, the level of required effort, and duration of your task. And look at this lady here. Man, I'm very tired. All right. Risk factors associated with musculoskeletal orders. Examples of risk factors include excessive force. When you exert a lot of force, oh, that's a big box there. Lifting heavy objects or the people. Pushing or pulling heavy loads, manual pouring of materials, maintaining control of equipment or tools, or performing similar tasks repeatedly. So these are some of the risk factors. Also, other risk factors, working in awkward postures or same postures for long periods, prolonged repetitive reaching above shoulder or height, kneeling, squatting, leaning over a counter, bending, using a knife with wrist bent, twisting the torso while lifting, localized pressure into the body part, or pressing the body part of the body against hard or sharp edges, and using the hand as hammer. So these are some of the risk factors. It's not only that you are the one working, it's only not people who are at risk. Of course, the one that causes risk to you are also other factors such as environmental. So maybe we have cold temperatures, those who are actually working activities dealing with cold materials, okay, cold goods, okay. Vibration, it could affect whole body or hand-arm vibration syndrome. Okay, we have a whole body. Usually you get this from when you're driving a lot and it affects your whole body. Hand-arm vibration is when you have tools and equipment that are really vibrating, and it could affect you. And when you are exposed for a long period of time. Combined exposure to several risks as well. No, it may place workers at a higher risk for musculoskeletal orders than does exposure to any one of the risk factors. Okay. Ergonomic control methods. We have methods of protecting against musculoskeletal disorders. So we are very happy that we have this webinar today because this is part of your training. And training establishes that you will have an idea on what to do within your workplace. And I always tell this to my students when I'm delivering courses: if you see something, you say something about it, and you do something about it. No, you don't keep it to yourself. That's why when you attend training, make sure that you are keeping it at the same time doing action towards it. It's at the end of the day, it's really the action that boils down. You know? When your training is as effective as possible, you will learn the principles of ergonomics and their applications, learn about the proper use of equipment, tools, and machine controls, use good work practices, including proper lifting techniques, become more aware of work tasks that may lead to pain or injury, recognize early symptoms of musculoskeletal disorders, and understand the importance of reporting and addressing early indications of musculoskeletal disorders before serious injury develops. Understand procedures for reporting work-related injuries and illnesses as required by our regulations. So what we follow in Qatar is QCS 2014, but we also look at other approved codes of practices. No? Ms. Angie can elaborate this much more when you go further for your internal trainings or if you want to acquire trainings from DISS. Okay. All right. So other than that, we also need to ask for feedback from all employees. Now, all levels, not only the top management decides, but we have a say, those who are at the worker level. Now, we also have to conduct your job hazard analysis. JHA is a part of a risk assessment and it's very important. Early recognition and reporting of potential musculoskeletal disorders. All right, let's have another ergo time. Everybody stand up a little bit. So yeah, I don't know. I don't see you actually. Okay, a little bit of standing there. Let's have a 15-second stretching. All right, start stretching hold both of your hands and put it at the back right now. Come on, move. Okay, bend forward. Stretch. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010. Only bend forward. I think there's a lot of movement. 15 seconds is done. All right, someone is already dancing in there. Voila. Okay, and now stretch your neck on the side. Go to one side. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1015 seconds. The other side again. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1015. Okay, that's a very quick one, 15 seconds. Okay. All right. So thank you very much. Sit down. You can do this low back stretch do after working with back bend with your hands on your lower back and lean backwards slightly and hold for 15 seconds. Or you can do it lesser, but you need to really do some exercises. So this is one of our ergo time. We have also the neck stretch. So we have two kinds of stretching exercise for today. All right. Job hazard analysis. So let's talk more about this. This table is an example of a JHA, wherein you're going to divide the job hazard analysis, divide the job to your tasks, what are the hazards, and which controls. An example of this, maybe you are delivering a sacks of rice, basmati rice, for example. Okay, too much basmati, my friend. We'll eat biryani later. All right. Also, hazards on that, we're going to be loading and unloading. And you're also going to look at what controls can you do. Okay, weight limits, maybe 25 kilos per carry. And make sure that it's closer to your body. Fall of gravity allows you, if it's closer to your body when you're carrying something, it actually lessens the weight, the feels of the weight. Okay, but you have to also limit the kind of load. That's why, when you're traveling abroad or you're going somewhere, isn't it that your luggages are like limited to 25 to 30 kilograms? Because in the airport, guys, now you have to understand that they are just throwing your luggages. Oh, sorry. They are actually carrying your luggages and making sure, that they pass it on safely. Now you just don't carry your they just don't just also think about their own safety, isn't it? No, I know you want to bring a lot of goods going to your country, okay, but you have to consider also that you do not overload your luggages. That's why also they limit it because you have to pay extra amount. Okay, JHA very important in our workplaces. So maybe this is a part of a risk assessment and we need to do it. Okay, examples of engineering control. So we need to implement physical change to the workplace. This eliminates or reduces the hazard on the job task. So if you are attending a risk assessment training, you will know more about the control measures. So we have actually 5 hierarchy of risk controls: elimination or avoidance, substitution or reduction, which is second. Third is your engineering control, which means isolation or control of your of your hazards. And then we have administrative control as the fourth link, and the five will be your last PPE. So I don't recommend that you guys always recommend PPE. I'll give him gloves. I'll give him a safety vest, safety, hard that. Okay, those are just part. Yes, it's mandatory, it's required, but that is your least concern. So go for other stuff. Let's try engineering control. So in this example, maybe you can have your workstation designed and set up perfectly, fitting for you. Okay, good lighting, good ambience, and good people, smiling faces around you. Okay, that's just an add-on, by the way. Now, ergonomically designed tools. Okay, when we purchase our design tools, we make sure that the tools are at the at least technology that is updated. You don't go for the obsolete one, the old ones. Ergonomically designed equipment and the load weight reduction. Okay. Examples of proper work practices, we will do proper lifting techniques. So this is just an example of a proper lifting technique. Bend your leg, just like a child, no? We always have to learn from our little kids. Now, try it at home. Do it to your 2-year-old kid or toddler or anyone. Give him a box. That person will carry that box like a ergonomically trained individual, because actually naturally when we were kids, when we were born, or I mean when we are little young, we really bend our legs. But when you get old, now you are a senior citizen, right? Oh, now you're looking at the person beside you. He's not a senior citizen, not yet. Okay, now you try to bend your back, and the tendency is you hurt your back. All right. So make sure you learn about the proper lifting techniques. You will do it internally, by the way, maybe in your toolbox talk or whichever activity you want to do. Team lift, heavy, bulky, awkward loads, do some stretching, work rotation, task variety. You don't specifically just do one-time job, but you need to do variation and increase rest breaks. Yeah. Okay, now you're thinking, I'm going to breaks. Of course, you can increase rest breaks by also managing your time at work. Now, some of you are like overloaded with a lot of activities, but you want to finish it all in one day. So instead of you doing it 8 hours, you are staying at work for 12 hours because you want to do overtime. Okay, so you have to also have a rest break. Examples of PPE that you may use, maybe a gripping gloves. It's good for you to not hurt your hands as well. Knee pads and vibration gloves. Thermal gloves. We have lifting straps. These are lifting straps that would easily, that not only your hand is carrying it, but your whole body is carrying it. Just like this example here. The one who's cutting grasses. Okay, we have also vibration gloves. This is an example of vibration gloves. Okay, so some of the PPEs that maybe we can buy. Again, PPE is the last line of defense. Okay, let's take a look at some of ergonomic hazards here and what solutions can we do. This is an example of a physical ergonomic hazard. It's reaching above the head and shoulders, working with the hands above head for more than 2 hours per day. A common example, no? Okay, overreaching. Some of you might be doing it only for a few minutes, but for some people, that's the kind of job they have, like ductings. They always look at the ceiling. All right, I know you're looking at the ceiling. There's no money in there. Okay, the money is in your proper ergonomics. All right. So another physical ergonomic hazards, working with the elbows above the shoulders for more than 2 hours per day. It's the same example when you are carrying boxes or you're loading and unloading things. These are awkward postures. While pulling with the hands above the shoulder, it can cause increased load imposed on the shoulders, neck, and back. And when performed repeatedly, this task may result in overexertion of the back and upper extremities. Okay, now what is the solution on that then? Reaching above the head and shoulders, maybe the solution that you want to do is to keep items within close reach. Okay, design reach distance for the shortest worker. Platform allowing for easier access to items, pull out steps on vehicles, elevated rocks that can be lowered to an appropriate height when access is needed. Okay, so these are examples of the solution. Another solution, reaching above the head and shoulders, you can remove obstacles, utilize equipment to raise and lower items or move items closer to worker, such as use gravity feed racks. These are racks on shelves with little wheels that allow boxes stored on them to slide forward as the front box is removed. The kind of like taking a can of beverage out of the cooler case at a convenience store at Bacala, no? Small portable forklift. No, you can provide pick sticks or bow pip hooks to pull small lightweight items closer to the edge prior to lifting. Okay, that is utilizing equipment. Okay, let's have another ergo time. Everybody stand up. Everybody stand up. Okay, let's have a hamstring and calf stretch. What you're going to do is you're going to point your one step forward, your toes, point it up, stretch your, extend one leg forward with heel on floor, point toes up, extend one leg back with foot on the ground. Bend front knee to stretch calf of back leg. Okay, let's do it. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010, 1011, 1015. Yes, there you go. Some of you again are are dancing in the ground right now. That's a different stretching, but it would also work if you want to. All right, sit down. Okay, to prevent an injury and the need for pain for your medicine, it's really important that you do your ergo time. Okay, a little bit stretching might work. All right. Some other hazards. We have here awkward body postures, working with the neck or back bent forward for more than 30 degrees for more than 2 hours per day. These are actually highlights from the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. Although we are following US and UK standard, but it's also good to do approved codes of practice and good practices from other countries. Okay, this is an example of the hazard. Another hazard would be squatting for more than 2 hours per day. Can you imagine it if you are working in a mall or like merchandisers? Kneeling for more than 2 hours per day. And what are the solution for this? Kneeling, squatting, and bending your neck. That the control with that be is if the work is too low, one solution to consider is finding a way to raise the work. If that's not possible, can you use a low stool to provide support so that you can sit lower near the level of the work? Raise and or tilt the work for better access, or use a stool for ground level work. And these are just examples of it. Okay, another solution would be use tools with longer handles. Alternate between bending, kneeling, sitting, and squatting. So I told you earlier about trying to alternate work activities. Okay, so don't just settle for one. Now, okay, another hazard here is gripping 10 or more pounds. Okay, how many kilos is that? 4 kilos, maybe? Yeah. Or force for 2 or more hours per day. Okay. Now, the kind of timing that we don't want. No, we don't want. Even for some, they're actually doing it more than that. Using a lot of hand force increases the risk for hand, wrist, and elbow injuries, and in some cases, shoulder injuries. Holding something between the tips of the fingers and the thumb is called a pinch grip. This type of grip uses very small muscles in the hand and wrist. So even holding something that weighs only 2 pounds can be a risk for injury if it's done for more than 2 hours. Okay? Yes. You can actually feel this if you're holding just paper for a long period of time. No, that's actually not nice. Okay, pinch grip. Okay, another hazard here: pitching 2 or more pounds of weight of 4 or more pounds of force for 2 or more hours per day. The one that I'm just sharing to you earlier. So what you can do, what are the solutions you can do here? Design your work layout to reduce hand carrying. Using a lot of hand force increases the risk for hand, wrist, and elbow injuries, and in some cases, shoulder injuries. So because you can't get as good a grip with your fingertips as with your whole hand, you tend to use more force to hold onto something than just the weight of the object. For example, in order to hold onto a stack of paper that weighs 2 pounds, you actually have to use 4 pounds of grip force. And that's very uh, huge amount of force. Now, reduce amount of items carried at one time. Use non-pinch grip postures. Okay, or wherein you could like at least as much as possible you don't really pinch because again the force that you're gonna be putting into your fingers would not be nice. Okay, maybe like lending a hand, that's an example of a non-pinch. Use ergonomically designed tools or aids or use job task rotation. Again, work rotation is very important here. Hazard for repetitive motions. Repeating same motion for more than 2 hours per day with hands, wrists, elbows, shoulders, or neck. Okay, this example here. Intense skiing for more than 4 hours per day. For those who are working in the workstation. Okay. So what would be the solution then? Arrange work to avoid unnecessary motion. So this is a very good example, by the way, this picture here on top, no? The seldom access, okay, are far away from you. Repetitive access, your primary work zones, okay, are near your work area. Okay, so that's an example of an office ergonomic workstation design. Now, other than when you have notebook or pen, you put it beside your keyboard. Okay, some of you might be having their coffees or your snack. You put it away a little bit. Maybe your coffee would be near to you because you have to drink. But of course, those other things like markers, staplers, like other stuff would be away. This is seldom access, the tertiary work zone. Okay, so you can actually look at which also, are you a right-handed or a left-handed? Then you have to also consider which one is near to you. Okay, let power tools and machinery do the work as much as possible, not human doing it as much as possible. Spread repetitive work out during the day. Take stretch poses. Rotate tasks with coworkers if possible and change hands or motions frequently. Okay, let's do another ergo time. Just sitting. Okay. Stretch your arm with your arm straight and hand up. Gently pull palm back toward body. Hold, then wrist down and pull hand toward the body. Come on, let's do this. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006. 2008, 2009, 2010. Also do the same thing on your other hand. If you have another hand, huh? You have another hand, right? Okay. Oh, why are you pulling the hand of your seatmates? Don't do that. Okay. And your 15 seconds is done. That's another ergo time for you guys. All right. Let's look at another hazard here. Localized pressure on body parts. Okay, a common thing when you are keying, you use your laptops, you use your keyboards, pressing the body part or the body against hard or sharp edges. Your table is a hard edge. That's why it's also good to have like padding on your desk. I'm actually putting paddings on my desk because usually elbows are affected sometimes because sometimes you're leaning and you're doing this, right? Yeah, can you imagine it? Sometimes you're just wondering, when is my jobs going to end? It's a full day of activity, right? So maybe some of you are just doing that. So maybe you have to also protect your elbows, your wrist, okay? Having a pressing the body part to a hard or sharp edges would not be comfortable in the long run. Standing, kneeling for prolonged periods or hard surfaces, using tools with hard handle surface or short handles. These are other hazards. Using hands or knees as a hammer more than 10 times. Are you doing that? No, when you're slapping a something, like you use your hand or a hammer, not hammering your husband or your wife, huh? Pat, 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 like that. No, it's more than that. So, you're hammering a table, you're pushing something, okay? So it would not be good for you. So what are your solution on this? Localized pressure on body parts. So use tools with longer handles, use tools with padded grips, alternate between bending, kneeling, sitting, and squatting. Use sit and stand tools or stools or tables. So these are very good examples, by the way. You know, some of the people who I know, some receptionists, okay, we always recommend that they're not just like sitting on the reception for long periods of time. They have to move, you know, sometimes even just, you know, like dealing with the customers and all this. Standing would also be a very good practice, no? Like maybe every 1 hour, you know, changing timings. So again, we can always adapt different practices from different countries around the world. Okay. Another solution would be pad table edges or use tables or desktops with rounded edges. Okay, these are very good examples in the picture that you are seeing here. Use wrist rests, anti-fatigue mats, knee pads, shoe inserts, or other items that reduce stress on body parts. So that's why, you know, when you are actually running nowadays, you know, if you go and do your running stuff around Qatar, the bike areas and the running areas are padded as well, because you know, putting pressure on your leg, on your knees while you're running is also not good. So it's also a good practice to put some kind of mats, okay, anti-fatigue mats. Hazard. Another hazard here is lifting. When you're lifting objects more than 75 pounds once a day, okay, 55 pounds 10 times a day, 10 pounds more than twice a minute or for more than 2 hours per day, or 25 pounds above shoulders, below knees, or at arm's length more than 25 times a day. Okay, so some different organizations have different protocols. So some would say 20 kilos is the allowable amount of weight that I should be carrying closer to my body, closer to my what do you call this? My hips. Okay. Uh, or my abdomen part. So 20 kilos. Below that, below my abdomen, which is on my thigh part, 25 kilos, depending on gravitational pull as well. No? Okay. Another hazard here is heavy, frequent, and awkward lifting. These are just examples of it. No, awkward lifting. Oh, that's a manhole. That's a very heavy material. So also be careful on that. Okay, solutions. Managing for safer lifting plan lifts. Okay, lifting plan would be very, very good. Minimize lifting distances and position materials to power zone levels. Avoid manual lifting, lowering roads to from floor. Identify or reduce unstable or heavy loads. Reduce frequency of lifting and duration of lifting tasks, and provide clear access. Okay, so these are just some of the management. Employee guidelines for safer lifting. Okay. I think I've mentioned it earlier, no? When you are a child, you're actually doing the right kind of lifting. There's a picture after this that tells more about the proper lifting techniques. Stretch before lifting. That would be really good, no? Check for tags on the loads. The tagging can tell you how much load it is. So very, very vigilant on checking it. Test load for stability and weight. But some of the loads are actually dynamic. They keep on moving. So also look at that. Plan the lift. You may need more than one person to do it. Use proper lifting techniques. Grip, two hands, smooth, even motions, load close to the body, legs to push up and lift load, avoid twisting, alternate with less physically demanding tasks, and also rest breaks. Get assistance when necessary. Okay, look at this example here. This technique may be effective only if loads are small, lightweight, and can easily fit between the knees. So this is keeping the load close to your body and lift by pushing up with your legs. Now, so this is the one I'm telling you, like a child, this is a child's play. You know, a toddler can actually easily carry it, then use that kind of technique. Okay. Lean the sack onto your kneeling leg, slide the sack up onto your kneeling leg, slide the sack onto the other leg while keeping the sack close to your body. As you stand up, keep the sack close to your body. So this is just an example also of proper lifting technique. Okay, let's go to another hazard here. Moderate more than 2 hours per day, high more than 30 minutes per day, and prolong are the vibration hazards when you use tools that are vibrating. So what you will do here as a solution is maybe you can use a low vibration tools and devices that may reduce vibration, tool balancers, extension handlers, vibration isolators, dumping techniques, okay, that holds the vibration to not easily move. No, okay. So procurement, or maybe the one who will be responsible for purchasing items, can also look into also the standards. I know some of the sometimes it's also the business wise that we want to save money, but you must realize that saving money with the kind of equipment that you're buying would also have a jeopardizing effect later on. Okay, and that is maybe taking the worker's life, and we don't want that. All right, adequate rest periods. It's an investment, by the way. It's an investment to also buy equipment and the tools that are technology-wise updated. No, adequate rest periods, rotate the job, having right maintenance. So maybe some of you are doing weekly, monthly, your preventive maintenance, PPM, also, and also your personal protective equipment. Another hazard here is your environmental condition: hot weather, cold weather, high temperature indoor, could be like steam rooms or attics, cold temperature indoor, your freezer, cold process rooms, and low visibility. So these are examples of those hazards. All right, let's have another ergo time. Come on, everybody stand up, or everybody stand up. Okay. Yes. Shoulders roll. Do after working with hands overhead or reaching away from the body. Slowly roll shoulders up and backwards. Up and backwards. Up and backwards. Up and backwards. Small circle, big circle. Small circle, big circle. Okay. All right. Ah, voila. You're doing an ergo time there. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. See? Very nice. Right. Very good dancing, huh? Wala, this is Bollywood. Some of you are doing the dancing like different. Okay. All right. So that's just one ergo time in there. Ergo time number 5. So what does an employer or employee must do? As an employer, it is your duty. It is your duty. If you're the employer or responsible person, you're the decision maker. Okay. You must also provide making sure you have a safe space for your organization. This is my abbreviation, by the way. Safe space. S, safe systems of work. It's important that we follow procedures, processes, JHA, risk assessments, all those stuff, PTW, and training, whatever. Then P is safe plant and equipment. That's why we ask you to buy tools and equipments that are updated and are also safer for the workforce. Safe arrangement. Okay, SPA. So A is arrangement. Arrangement. This provides welfare facility, and you are providing actually a very nice uh, what is this, a training room or a function hall in your offices right now. And safe maybe some of you arrangements, workstations, what else, smoking area, your pantry, these are all part of your arrangement. Safe C, consultation. You need to consult and ask feedback from your employees. And also safe communication. Do emails, WhatsApp, day-to-day day-to-day meetings, you have to be generous in communicating everything. And safe E is environment. So that is my safe space, safe systems of work, plants and equipment, arrangements, consultation, communication, and competent individual. And E is safe environment. Okay, as an employee, you must also report signs and symptoms if pain is persistent, severe, or worsening. The pain radiates. Symptoms may include numbness or tingling sensation. Symptoms keep you from sleeping at night, fingers blanch or turning white. Employee must also get involved, and employer also have to look at the kind of jobs. You come up with solutions as well and work with those solutions. Okay, take part in training. Now you're actually taking part in training. But mind you guys, no, this is only one-time webinar. Please do attend trainings promptly and intentional. Be intentional about it, because always remember this, no? When you're attending these trainings, you're not only using it for your workplaces, you're also using it for your own personal life. And I've been delivering different courses in my experience as a consultant and trainer. And, I've been telling my students, invest invest in training and also the equipment. For example, you're attending a first aid class from my end or a fire safety from my end. I would really tell you to buy your own fire extinguisher in your own house. You probably don't even have your own fire extinguisher, right? So, or first aid kit, no? So come to think of it, no? When you attend on training, be intentional about it. Take responsibility for changing the way you do your job and help to make sure efforts are successful. Let me just show you a little bit of video here. Okay. Okay, good.
When people hear ergonomics, they often think of this. But in truth, ergonomics is simply fitting the workplace to the worker, rather than the other way around. And that includes lots of workplaces: construction, manufacturing, transportation, healthcare. You get the idea. So today, we're going to cover some ergonomic basics that apply to virtually any workplace. These include proper posture, managing forces, and excessive repetitive motion. Ready? Let's start with posture. Sitting, standing, walking, it really doesn't matter. Proper bone and joint alignment is key. So straighten up that back, keeping ears, shoulders, and hips in a straight line. Good. Now squat by hinging at the hip. Keep everything aligned. Now sit. Perfect. Maintaining that posture through your day and work, any work, will reduce fatigue, eliminate strains, decrease stress on joints and ligaments, and have you feeling great. If posture is good, forces are evil. Why? Because they assault your posture constantly. There are lift and carry forces, grip forces, push and pull forces, and just plain old gravity. Hey, let's help you out with this. To avoid injury, don't lift, pull, or push too much. Let your posture guide you. And if need be, get help or use a hand truck or other tool. Also, move that body. If you stand up a lot for work, sit. If you've been sitting, stand up. Every change is an opportunity to realign and think about your posture. Our last Ergo 101 topic is repetitive motion. Doing the same task over and over and over and over and over well, you get the point. Repetitive motions from jobs like these can cause carpal tunnel syndrome, joint problems, poor circulation, and more. Fortunately, these injuries are easy to avoid. First, by arranging your work area to fit you and support good posture, and second, by stretching. Stretches like this, or this, or this, well, maybe not that. Every 30 to 60 minutes can make a world of difference and prevent injury. Show off. Let's recap. Ergonomics is all about fitting your work environment to you. So set up your station to support good posture. Be mindful of posture, reduce forces, and take breaks to stretch and realign yourself. Do all that, and you'll be on your way to being more efficient, more productive, and healthier.
All right. That's ergonomics. RK. Ergonomics in a way, designing, remember designing your work to fit for the worker. So it's how you make sure that it's convenient for the worker, not the other way around. Not putting the worker directly to a kind of work that the worker is not fitting for, right? Okay, designing the work to fit for the worker. From ergo and nomos means loss of work. Okay, managing stress at work. Are you guys stressed a bit? Okay, all right. I hope you're not stressed. We still have a little bit. This will be like my last 5 minutes of discussion. Too much stress can lead to job burnout, anxiety, depression, insomnia, hypertension, frequent illness, exhaustion. And you don't want to be this guy on this picture here. Okay, drooling. Maybe the saliva is coming out now. All right. Stress can really burn you out. So don't go to that kind of situation. What contributes stress? A lot of things. These are the contributors to your employee stress. Downsizing or reorganization, because people don't know maybe if they would be still having their jobs or not. Maybe large workloads. Maybe our worker has been given too much work activity that is beyond his control. That's why the person is doing overtime and he's stressed about it. Long working hours. Actually, yes, the one of the key practices that people do is that time in, if also the time out, have to go. Okay. But of course, you need to really manage your work activity. That's why you are not a one-man hero, my friend. You need people around you. That's why teamwork very, very plays a very big role. 24/7 technology, work-life obligations, health-related concerns are other contributors to employee stress. A few ways employers can do, okay, allow some control over the schedules, include employee input and decision making, always ask, balance responsibility and authority necessary for the task, set reasonable limits and timelines, recognize the job well done. So probably you're doing some kind of praise reports, what else? Recognition, best employee of the year, like this. No? Recognize the job well done, but also just saying like, hey, you're doing a good job today. All right. So that's just recognizing a job well done. I hope you can tell that to the person next to you. You're doing a good job, hopefully. Resources, health club membership, elder care, and on-site or near-site childcare. So it depends on the other resources that you have. So that's why we are also asked to like be involved in some organizations. No? Employee assistance programs and wellness programs. Are you doing that as part of the? It's actually a human resource program and also a health and safety program. Maybe you would do you want to introduce a Zumba class. Review work distribution process. Is it fair and effective? So these things, those 7 steps to help you manage stress. There are some steps that maybe you can manage stress. Eat balanced and nutritious diet, starting with your breakfast. Some of you are doing intermittent fasting. Some of you are really fasting for a long period of time, but you do eat balanced diet. Get a good night's sleep. Volunteer time and services is also good because you do networking. Seek professional help, and you might need some doctors and some experts on that field. Keep moving. Exercise 30 minutes a day. Do that. Express your feelings. You're not alone. Oh, wow. Okay, can you tell the person seated next to you, you are not alone? All right, get to the root of it and remove the stressor or try new coping strategies. Okay. It's always the root cause. When we do investigation, it's always the root cause. And usually, most of the time, no, I would also, by the way, tell you that let's avoid that blame culture in our workplace. No, it's your fault, like that. So to avoid the blame culture, you must get to the root of the issue. And to get to the root of the issue, you ask why. Why are you doing this? Why did you do that? What's wrong? So until you get to the tip, usually it's more of a system issue. Okay, safety culture can be achieved if you always participate, because managing stress at work, you will never completely remove stress from your life, but identifying and managing stressors can help you maintain a positive and healthy lifestyle. So I hope you have learned a little bit or more about ergonomics and at the same time managing your stress at work. But mind you guys, no, when we want to become sensitive with our culture in our workplace, have that a change of mindset first and change of heart, because it's the only one who can stop you from being great is YOU. It's you. Okay, so you have a very big say on on making changes in the workplace, but you need to also be an example about it. Okay, tell the person to sit next to you, be a good example. All right, and that's it. Thank you for participating in this webinar. You can open the floor, Miss Maya, for anything.
Yes, thank you very much, Mon, for that incredibly knowledge-packed presentation. So we would like now to open the floor for a brief question and answer session. So if you have any questions or comments for Mr. Gapasin, just go ahead and raise your hand, or you can just put it in the chat box and we'll read it out loud if you don't want to talk. So floor is now open. Miss Angie, if you have any questions for Mr. Ramon.
Questions? No, but we just want to say a thank you to Sir Ramon for giving us this very informative, training. We've learned a lot. Thank you so much. Guys, any questions? Ready. Any questions there?
Any clarifications? It's fine. You can always send us over your questions later on if you can't think of anything right now. Great.
Okay, I hope these people attending the course will also do their ergo time practices. Do your stretching exercises in your stations, but do not overstretch. Maybe you're already sleeping afterwards. All right.
Great. Okay. Now, so no questions. It's fine. But before we wrap up today's event, let me call on Ms. Josephine Vihana, DISS Business Development Executive, just to give us a few words.
Hello, hi, good morning, everyone. So, just to introduce myself quickly. So, my name is Josephine. I'm the assigned Senior BDE who handles the account of Seashore Group to the DISS Training Academy in related to your HSE training courses. Of course, thank you, everyone. Thank you to our speaker, Mr. Ramon, for a very valuable information for a safer environment. And thank you for your participation, Seashore, especially to Miss Angie for spearheading this safety event for Seashore Company. The success of this event would not have been possible without your valuable presence and active involvement. And we hope that your commitment to safety and dedication to making our workplace, especially the Seashore workplace, with a safer environment is highly appreciated. So thank you, everyone. And looking forward to welcoming more of Seashore staff members to DISS Training Academy. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, Miss Josephine. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, Seashore Group, Miss Angie, and all the HSC lead or the HSC team of Seashore for attending our online safety day. I hope that today's discussion has provided you with valuable takeaways that you can implement in your daily lives, both personally and professionally. Now, remember that small changes can make significant impact on our overall well-being. And it's up to each and one of us to prioritize our health and safety. So before we conclude, I'd like to remind you all to keep an eye on our website and social media channels for future events and training opportunities as well. Also, Miss Angie, I'll be sending you a recording of the session. So for those staff that weren't able to join us today, they can play it on their own on time. All right, great. Then, so once again, on behalf of DISS, our heartfelt gratitude for giving us this opportunity to host your virtual safety day. Thank you for joining us today. Stay safe. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.